Warning: this show contains more sweetener than your insulin can handle.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Welcome to my channel, YouTubers. I'm Axel. This is my first video, so bear with me. It may be a little slow, a little boring, but with your help I can spruce it up and make it sound amazing. I'm 26, nearly 27 next Wednesday. Also something rather entertaining is going to be happening next Wednesday. But if I tell you what, then I'm going to have to kill you. So you're just going to have to wait. Now I live in Christchurch. It's a town in New Zealand, known to most of the outside world as Middle Earth. So, like I said, first video.
Get on with it, you dumb shit.
Yeah, okay. Calm down. I'll get on with it. Right, so last night I went and saw the first two Hunger Games along with Mockingjay at 12:01 this morning, which is Thursday the 20th of November.
Show them what it costs to be friends with Katniss Everdeen.
No one can survive this.
We have to get him out before they kill him.
So, first bit of good news was before the first two Hunger Games, the Hunger Games Are Catching Fire, they played the Hobbit trailer.
Darkness will be upon us. You have but one question to answer. How shall this day end?
Yes! It looks amazing. I cannot wait. And then they played the second Divergent movie. Just before Mockingjay Part 1, and that looks pretty damn good too. So, looking forward to both movies. Anyways, Mockingjay was pretty good. Started feeling a bit tired and dozy in Catching Fire. I fell asleep, I think, for the first half hour of Mockingjay because I was exhausted. So I ended up having to pry my eyes open to watch the rest of Mockingjay. Excuse me. So Mockingjay Part 1 finished at 2 o'clock. Then I had to take my bag back to her backpackers. So I didn't get to sleep until 3. Then I had to pick up my maid at 8 o'clock this morning because she's off to Kaikoura for the night. Then off to Picton to go over to Wellington. Then she's flying back home to Sweden. At the middle/end of this month. Being December, I mean this month's nearly pretty much November, so yeah, pretty much December. So I thought I'd tackle one of my favourite subjects. It's a question on everybody's lips and they're not quite understanding, so I want to give my point of view. Why has one little book been made into 3 movies?
In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit.
The world is not in your books and maps. It's out there.
What note?
There is nowhere to hide.
I promised I would do this, and I think I must try.
Time is upon us when all must choose which side we are on.
Any man who wants to give their last, follow me!
My explanation as to why The Hobbit's been made into 3 movies: Unexpected Journey, Desolation of Smaug, or as I used to call it, Smaug, and the Battle of the Five Armies, previously known as There and Back Again, is because there's a lot of richness and meat and goodness in the appendices of the Lord of the Rings. I mean, that's where you hear about your Sauron and your Ringwraiths and Dol Guldur and Radagast and the White Council and Saruman and all that kind of stuff, because it's not actually written in The Hobbit. If it was just The Hobbit, Gandalf would be going left, right and centre and you'd be wondering where he's off to and just would not make any sense. Plus, if you watch Lord of the Rings, you'd get there and be like, so where did this all start? How did it all happen? You know, you'd have questions. So people say that it's because it's obviously a money-making franchise. Yes, of course. I mean, there's a huge base of fans worldwide, you know. I'm just a measly little, not even 1% of the fans. There's tons of us. And that's what Peter Jackson is also. Peter Jackson made 3 films because he was a fan. The money's a bonus, really. I mean, being a filmmaker, if it was me, I would make those films. I would make 3 films. And at least you've got to look at it. I mean, unlike other directors, the Battle of the Five Armies isn't in part 1 and part 2. It's just one part. So, you know, and the kick-ass part that's going to be coming up is obviously you've got the Battle of the Five Armies. So you'll be able to see, you know, 5 races getting at each other, having a big old time. And then after that, you know, you've got certain scenes that are crucial, but they're not going to leave you there with a smile on your face. You're going to be sitting there shocked and just be like, what? You know, even I've read the book. I know what to expect, but I know that I'm going to have some sad moments. And then Billy Boyd's The Last Goodbye song is just a piece of work. It's amazing. Even just listening to it every single time, it just hits me. Yes, I'm a fanboy. Just so what? I mean, there's your Trekkies out there, your Star Wars people out there. You got, you know, your Harry Potters and Twilight and 50 Shades. I mean, don't go dissing me for liking The Hobbit when you could be a fan of a movie yourself. I mean, come on. Okay, I might be more passionate about it, but I mean, come on, isn't my passion better than being on alcohol and drugs? I mean, you know, sheesh, on that note, 2 months, 1 week, smoke free today. Yes! See, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, that was my little spiel on the Battle of the Five Armies. It has been a journey. An unexpected journey. Oh, that was punny. I remember going away to Wellington from Auckland on the unexpected journey in 2012. And it was my 25th birthday. And they had a premiere costume party. And Jed Brophy, who plays Nori, he pulled me up on stage. And everybody that was there, including some of the cast and stuff, all sang happy birthday to me. It was an amazing experience. And then, obviously, with the premiere itself, I waited there for 17 hours and didn't realise it until later on. I was at the end of the premiere line rather than the start. So, because we had been there for 17 hours, we had cast going slow at the start, and then they get to us and they have to speed up because they had to get to the stage. Though in saying that, I got Dean O'Gorman's signature, who plays Philly, and, you know, I love the actor and I love the character. So, you know, he was amazing on The Almighty Johnsons, which is a bloody fantastic Kiwi show. Right up there with Outrageous Fortune. So, one thing that I'm planning on doing is, I always said, I want to see The Rings or The Hobbit, one of them at least, on the embassy. So the Battle of the Five Armies is going to be my last time to do that. So I'm really hoping I can find the funds and stuff to do so, because it would be an amazing experience just to see the Battle of the Five Armies, especially if it's in the cinema that, you know, say Peter Jackson or whatever it was in, because the embassy have the names written down on the chairs from the Lord of the Rings trilogies. I'm not too sure about the Hobbit, but the Lord of the Rings. So it would be an amazing experience. I mean, it'd be just like the unexpected journey where I had a cigarette, when I was a smoker, I had a cigarette with Elijah Wood, you know, and a couple other fans, and we were just sitting there having a good old chinwag about Sean Astin and New Zealand and filming, and, you know, it's one of those things, when you're a fanboy, you know, it's just like if you like Back to the Future and you got the car from Back to the Future, you'd be like, oh my god, you know, that's exactly what I am. I mean, I've got the t-shirt to fucking prove it. So, like I said, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, huge fan. So, yeah, I'm pretty tired. I think I'm hearing things. Play that funky music, white boy. Off to sleep. This afternoon I'm going to be collaborating with a very dear friend of mine, AxlBeetus. Maybe you've seen her on her channels. If not, you will be able to. As soon as the video is up, I will let you know and you'll be able to watch it. Hopefully you enjoyed my first video. Hopefully it wasn't too long and drawn out and boring and didn't make you fall asleep before I did. Remember to give me a like on Facebook, on Twitter. Subscribe. Big red button, subscribe. And yeah, leave comments. What do you want to see? I know, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any ideas? I don't know. Flick them my way. Ha 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 ha.